We successfully got the crane in today about 12:15. I don't know how much the inside baseball in which you might be interested, but we actually started with a different crane. Recognized that the wheels weren't broad enough to absorb the weight of the crane so as to avoid damage to the the floor of Assembly Hall. So we had to reload and get another crane. It's a 135-foot crane from our friends at McAllister Machinery. They've been very cooperative with us. They brought it down from Indianapolis, and we got it here at 12:15. We actually have to take up the wooden floor that the team plays on and put down rubberized subflooring because that thing is so heavy and potentially damaging. We did make use of the time before 12:15. Our university engineers and our external engineers were on the scene. They were in what apparently is a fairly intricate catwalk network inside Assembly Hall to see as much as they could see from the inside, and they were also actually on the roof today. And those are our in-house lead engineers from university, and as well as the engineer from RC Engineers, which is the engineering firm that has been monitoring Assembly Hall for many years, has done our structural inspections on the roof. The engineers were able to confirm what we thought was the causation issue last night. So, in sort of layman's terms, which is all I know in the engineering world, there's a valley in the roof of an intentional design valley in the roof of Assembly Hall. Snow collected in there, and then as snow melted, it slid in and created a sort of a super load in that area. They speculate that it was probably the biggest load that the roof has borne, if you will. All that pressure went to where that plate was and essentially popped it off, which of course is a flaw in a variety of ways, but a targeted and unique event. So we do believe that we understand the cause and that it is largely limited to the plates that bear the full brunt of that snow. They were able to make a complete visual and physical inspection, both internally and externally. So that is behind where the siding is, if you will, as well as on the front end by virtue of having the crane there. Did find 2 or 3 other places where the steel plating was loose, none of which was imminent to fall. I want to emphasize that there weren't any plates that they thought were in any kind of short-term danger of popping off, but there were some that were loose. We continue to be working on the assessment, the nature of those plates, whether they do have any sort of structural utility or not, and then what the best method is going to be to remediate those. And those details are being worked out. We have been told that they are confident that they'll be able to completely assess and remediate, which is engineering talk for fix, the plating and give us a 100% all clear and confirmation that the plating is secure and Assembly Hall is safe. I'll add that while they were there, the RC engineers, the guys that review the structure, they were able to review the overall structure of the roof, and just as it was reflected in August or September when the last inspection was made, they're confident in the integrity of the structure of the roof itself. But that's not to minimize it. Obviously, there's a problem if the roof pinches down and pops a 50-pound plate off. In short, in sum, I guess the causation seems to be what we thought it was last night. The assessment and the remediation is ongoing. The engineers are confident that they'll be able to have that repaired and certify it as safe before the next men's basketball game, which I think is next Sunday. And then we're also confident that it'll be done in time to hopefully reschedule Iowa back here at Assembly Hall at a time that's mutually convenient for both teams. I'll also mention that the women's game is still ongoing tonight. We're going to keep those areas roped off in an abundance of caution, even though the engineers have indicated that there's no danger at all of those plates coming down because they've inspected all of them, and even the ones that are slightly loose are not in danger of coming down. But we're going to keep those roped off and not have any fans sitting there. So Barbara and I will be at the game tonight, and looking forward to finding some nice seats in the middle of the arena with the rest of the folks. In terms of the Iowa game being rescheduled, conversations are ongoing with Iowa. We're confident that we'll reach a mutually acceptable time and date within the 72-hour window that we have to do so, and we're confident that game will be here in Assembly Hall.
Again, an exceptional amount of snow and ice up there, and and then all of a sudden it starts to melt all at once, as you're seeing. The good news to report is that we did accelerate the melting this morning, trying to assist it a little bit with some natural heat, and so now all the snow and ice is gone. So the roof has flexed back exactly the way it's supposed to. But we do need to look at that long term. If we know that, again, this is probably, according to the engineers, the deepest snow and ice accumulation that roof has probably seen. And so now that we know that can affect, we need to look at some other remediations, and that's part of the assessment we'll do long term.
The fix for those plates will be done to respond to a similar once in 100 years snow. Now we'll probably do some things, as I understand it, to try to mitigate that up on the roof, but we're not relying on the fact that this kind of load won't happen again. It'll be engineered to address this severe or even a more severe load going forward.
Exactly.
I think getting confidence clearance from the engineers that we could host in time was the key part on my end of making sure the facility is available. So that was the threshold issue. Now it's just a matter of the two programs in consultation with the Big Ten finding a date. And so I think, to your point, since we've cleared the hurdle of the engineers having confidence that it'll be a safe building to host the game, they'll be able to find the date.